Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Big Scottish Football Quiz. My name's Ray, and for the next hour I'm going to be taking you through 50 different questions all through the world of Scottish football, just to try lift some of the boredom of isolation. First things first, if you haven't done so already, let's get signed up for the quiz. The quiz itself, we've got 50 questions. It's going to be fastest fingers first for each answer. So in order to sign up, what you need to do is jump onto our website, crowd.live/ScottishFA. Crowd.live/ScottishFA. Stick in your details. It's on the screen there below me. And what we do recommend is doing it on a separate device. So if you've got a laptop, maybe use that as a stream and then play along on your phone, maybe an iPad, whatever, because each answer you do, fastest one to answer, each one gets you more points. The winner gets more prizes. That's how it's going to work. There's a maximum of 5,000 people able to play along online. If you don't make the 5,000, what you can do is you can just play along at home. You won't be able to enter for the big prizes, but you can. And at the end of each round, we're going to be giving away some, wait to see, it's an absolute mental prize, each different one. So you can check out that and still play along with that. The good thing about the leaderboard is you can test yourself against some of the big names in Scottish football. We're going to have both Scotland managers playing along tonight, Steve Clarke and Shelley Kerr. We also have Scottish football chief exec Ian Maxwell playing along. I'm a Partick Thistle fan, you can see behind me. It's good to have Ian Maxwell, who will be doing great with the social distancing, I think, because I watched him play centre half for us and he was never within 2 metres of the man he was trying to mark, so he'll be fine. The good thing as well is tonight we've got rounds on Scottish Cup general knowledge. There's a picture round that's absolutely brutal, and there's also some of your favourite podcasts that you listen to. Guys like Open Goal and Terrace have all submitted questions, so that'll be another round. And you're all playing for the big prize. Prize number one. So it's based on fastest finger. First, like we said, try to do it in 2 different devices. The quickest answer for each one will get more points. And at the end of the round, we'll have a complete winner. The winner will get a signed Scotland strip. They'll get 2 tickets for Scotland-Israel whenever that might be played. And also, courtesy of scoredraw.com, you'll get a retro shirt of your choosing. However, they've not said what country. So I would go for a Scotland one if you're 96. If you don't want to go Scotland, go for Cameroon 2002 without the sleeves, and then just work off a tan from being stuck indoors all the time. Second place, we'll get a signed Scotland shirt, and third place, we'll get 2 tickets for Scotland v Israel. So like I said, we'll be starting the quiz in about 5 minutes. So head to crowd.live/ScottishFA, get yourself signed up, get yourself in the running for those prizes. We'll be doing other prizes as we go. So you've got about 5 minutes. Remember I said, try play it on 2 different devices. So while you're doing that, while you're getting signed up, let's take a look at a little video saying thanks to all the supporters and Scottish national team players.
The Scotland Supporters Club is for the first timers, the 50th timers, the lifelong followers, the family day outers, the 30 Aarons who've already joined, along with the 6 Zoe and Zoes. Thank you to the 507 Steve, Stephen and Stevens, to the 511 Andrews and Andys, 739 David, Daves and Davies, the 75 Charlies and Charles, and 114 Ryans, to the 11 Michelles, 32 Claires, Claire and Claires, the 21 Rachels and Rachels, 10 Carolines and 5 Erins, from Kirkwall to Kirkcudbright, Eyemouth to Elgin, London to LA, Trinidad and Tobago to Perth, Australia. Thank you. This is your club, Ewan, Laura, Noah, Pauline and Omar, Miller, Millie, Molly, thank you too. We can't forget about the Bruces, Hamishes, the Logans, the Eves and the Bryans.
I'm Brian.
Thank you to our 2 Jackies as well. We are all Scotland. Lewis, Harris, Keith, Angus, Aaron and Ailsa, Nairn, Cooper and Skye. You are an individual amongst the Supporters Club family. Ainsley, Alessandro, Amar, Antonio, Austin, Barney, Blythe, Bronte and Bronx. Your support does not go unnoticed to Callie, Carmen, Claude, Dario, Dieter and Friedrich. Or yours, Giorgio, Gladys, Hamza, Harjeev, Hendricks, Innes, Jade, Jamil, Larissa and Lionel. Thank you to you all who are unique in your own way. The Williams, Wills, Bills are showing their support. The Archies and Archibalds, Collins, Julies and Dennises know what it's all about. As do the Kennys, Kenneths and Kens, and we can't forget about the Nigels. Supporting Scotland is in our DNA.
I love that video. I absolutely love it. It's actually voiced by someone I do a football podcast with called Stephen Mill, who's a great voice, but he's an absolute terrible human. So you can't win them all. So let's give away our first prize of the evening. Like I said, you're going to be doing the quiz, but you're also going to be given different prizes throughout the quiz as we go along. So This is our first prize. What we're going to do is we're going to give away 4 different versions of these prizes as we go along. Each question, after each round, you'll get a chance to enter. So you can either enter on the Facebook live comments, so stick a comment in there, or you can go onto Twitter, #BigFootballQuiz, so that's football spelled as in football, and you can put your answer in here. This is what you're going to be playing for. We're going to do in different sizes. I'll let you take a look at this and then I'll explain what it is, because I didn't believe this was something that was real. So have a look. So courtesy of our sponsor, our licensees, Foco, they've given us some of... It's a Hawaiian shirt with Scotland national team logos on it. I'm not sure. I've never said that as a sentence before, but this is a genuine thing. There's no joke. It's a real thing. So I don't know if you've ever been, I don't know, Magaluf and BCM and walking about thinking, do you know what, this is good, but I wish I had a Hawaiian shirt with my national team logo on it. Now is your chance. We're going to be playing for a small size, a medium size, a large size, and an extra large size throughout the quiz tonight. First round is for the small size. Each question you get asked is going to be a sequence. So I'm going to give you 4 or 5 names, maybe managers, maybe teams, maybe whatever. You need to tell me who the next person or next team or whatever is in this sequence. So this is for the small prize. Get your answer in. We're going to be giving the first one away in the first 2 minutes. So get your answers in. #BigFootballQuiz or on the Facebook comments. Here is the sequence. I'm going to give you 4 things. I need you to give me the 5th one. Paolo Sergio, Neil Lennon, Tommy Wright, John Hughes. What is the 5th thing in this sequence? I'll repeat it again. Paolo Sergio, Neil Lennon, Tommy Wright, John Hughes. Give me the next one in this sequence. You've got a couple of minutes to do that. If you haven't signed up already, head to crowd.live/ScottishFA. We'll be picking someone at random in the next 2 minutes. And while we do that, let's have a look at some legendary Scottish Cup goals being animated. Have a look.
Well, that is what you call an impact. Seal this. It is magnificent. Honestly, I don't know what to say about this. And it is about to be duly delivered in the most spectacular and dramatic fashion. There haven't been too many shocks at the magnitude of this one. Oh, wow. Well, they don't come along very often. What a moment this is.
Is there going to be a twist in the tail? Yes, there is!
And Stephen Dobie is on the marks!
It's Liam Henderson to deliver!
It's on! It is on! The Jam Tarts are coming back here at the end of May!
It's over!
It was going to take something special to separate these two! And boy, they've had a long, long wait for this!
So thanks to Nick Murray Willis who made that video there. Right, okay, couple of things. We're going to ask you throughout the quiz, let us know where you're playing along. Everyone's in the same situation now. It's really hard to get out of making plans with people because you know you're not doing anything else. So some people have already been in touch on Twitter, Facebook. Let us know where you're playing from. It might be somewhere more exotic. I'm literally, I don't know, maybe 200 yards away from Hampden. We've already got people playing Jock Gardner's in Aberdeen, Valerie Nimmo Campbelltown, Kevin Gillis in Reykjavik. We've got an East Fife fan in Auckland, which sounds like someone who's definitely on the witness protection programme. We've got Scott Bunker in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for playing along, guys. But also get in touch. Let us know where you are. And we've also got Michael O'Meara in his bed. Thanks for telling us that, Michael. Don't tell us that next time. Right, time to give away the first prize. I showed the picture up earlier. Let's get it up on the screen just now. This is what you were playing for the first time. I got 2 tweets asking me if this is real. Yes, it is. So courtesy of Foco, we're going to be giving away these lovely Hawaiian shirt themed Scotland tops, and let's give out our first one. So the sequence was, we needed the next person in this sequence. Paolo Sergio, Neil Lennon, Tommy Wright, John Hughes. Who was the 5th person in this sequence? The answer was Alan Stubbs. The reason it was Alan Stubbs, they were the 2012 to 2016 Scottish Cup winning managers. So Sergio with Hearts, Lennon with Celtic, Tommy Wright with St Johnstone, John Hughes with Inverness, and Alan Stubbs won it in 2016 with Hibs, a really good game against Rangers. The best thing about that was when the full-time whistle happened, nothing happened after the game, and we don't need to talk about that anymore. So we've got our winner. The first one, the small size of this lovely shirt, goes to Andy McKenzie. So congratulations, Andy. Get in touch. I don't know if it's Twitter or Facebook or whatever. Get in touch and we'll sort that out for you after the lockdown. So don't worry if you've not won it. I genuinely want one of these and they've not offered me one. I'm a little bit gutted so far. We'll play for a medium, a large and extra large later on. That'll be coming up. But first, let's kick off with the quiz. You've had time to sign up. If you've not, crowd.live/ScottishFA if there's still any places. And let's kick off with round 1. Scottish football general knowledge. Okay, like I said before, it's fastest fingers first. So the quicker you answer these questions, if you get it right, the more points you get. Because we're going to have so many different people playing, that's the best way to work it out. So if you think you know the answer, dive straight right in. Remember, if you're trying to do it on 2 different devices, you shouldn't be having any problems. If you do have any problems at any point, just hit a refresh and it should jump you straight back in. And anyway, got 50 questions. Let's start with our first one. So let's kick off the big Scottish football quiz. Question number 1. Which current Premiership club has never won the Scottish Cup or League Cup? So, which current Scottish Premiership club has never won the Scottish Cup or League Cup? Is it Ross County, Livingston, Hamilton Accies, or St Mirren? Which one of these clubs has never won the Scottish Cup or League Cup? Ross County, Livingston, Hamilton Accies, or St Mirren? And while you're answering that, I'll just give you a little insight into the quiz. We're going to be giving you the answer after each question. You're going to have about 15-20 seconds to answer each question as you go. And then the answer will come up on screen. You'll find out if you're right and we'll move on. We'll do a leaderboard at the end of each round. You can see where you rank if you're in the top few. And hopefully we should be getting updates on our Scotland managers and other people, see how they're getting on. And hopefully you'll be better than them because that'll be a good laugh. So, question number 1. Let's find the answer. Which current Premiership club has never won the Scottish Cup or League Cup? The answer is Hamilton Accies. Well done if you got that. If you think about it actually, this question, St Mirren and Ross County have both won cups in the last 10 years. I think St Mirren have won 3 Scottish Cups and a League Cup. And also Livy, back when they had Sanchez Broto and stuff like that in 2004, they won, I think it was a CIS Cup then. So Hamilton Accies, the only one not to have won a cup, also the only one of those teams to have blocked me on Twitter. Thanks, Hamilton. So, question number 2. Let's move on. Question number 2. Who has picked up the most yellow cards in the Premiership this season? Who has picked up the most yellow cards in the Premiership season? Gary Dicker, Liam Fontaine, Lewis Ferguson, or Liam Donnelly? Who's picked up the most yellow cards? Gary Dicker, Liam Fontaine, Lewis Ferguson, or Liam Donnelly? Obviously, we don't know if it'll get extended. So this could be the winner for the season, but others could come in and compete and take it away. All depends on what's happening with this vote. As a Thistle fan, I want to know. Still don't know yet. We'll find out. Let's get the answer. Who picked up the most yellow cards in the Premiership this season? The answer is D, Liam Donnelly. So this is mad. Liam Donnelly, I think we played 29 or 30 games in the Premiership. Liam Donnelly has 12 yellow cards. If you do get into suspensions, he's getting booked 1 every 2 games minimum. So obviously the hard man of the league, or maybe just a really bad tackler. I don't know, I haven't seen nothing to comment. Fontaine and Ferguson have got 9 each, and Gary Dicker on 8. So well done if you got Liam Donnelly. Let's go to question 3. This question 3 is the kind of question I hate in these quiz. How many teams have City in their name in the SPFL? How many teams have City in their name in the SPFL? 1, 2, 3 or 4. It's as simple as that. How many teams have City in their name in the SPFL? If you think about Birmingham City, they don't count. Cardiff City, they don't count. And that's probably not helpful, but they don't. So, how many teams have City in their name in the SPFL? I think that's enough time for you to work it out. The correct answer is 3. 3 teams have City in the SPFL. Well done if you got that. And if you're struggling to name them, Brecon, Edinburgh, Elgin. All in League 2. Only Edinburgh. Is Brecon a city? Or is Elgin a city? I asked that earlier on when we practiced this and no one told me, but I think they might be lying to us. I've been to Brecon. Brecon doesn't seem like a city. So well done if you got that. So we're 3 down. I wonder how many people are in 100% so far. We'll find out. Let's move on to question 4. League One. Who is the most clean sheets in League One this season? Who's got the most clean sheets in League One this season? Let's go for A. David Hutton, B. Aaron Lennox, C. Greg Fleming, or D. Robbie Much. I won't be giving you the teams. I'll tell you the teams and the answers, who they play for. But who has the most clean sheets in League One this season? David Hutton, Aaron Lennox, Greg Fleming, or Robbie Much? Remember, fastest fingers first. So let's find out the answer. Should have been enough time for that one. Who's the most clean sheets in League One this season? The answer is D. Robbie Much. The Falkirk goalie has got 8 clean sheets. Aaron Lennox, the Thistle player, and Greg Fleming at Montrose and Peterhead, they've got 7 each, and David Hutton at Airdrie has 6 clean sheets. So if you got Robbie Much, well done. Question number 5. We've been to League One. Let's jump to League Two. League Two question. Who is the most assists in League Two this season? This will probably sort out the trivia buffs. Who's the most league assists in League Two this season? Jamie Masson, Craig Thompson, Alex Harris, or David Galt? Who's got the most clean sheets this season? Answers again: Jamie Masson, Craig Thompson, Alex Harris, and David Galt. Who's got the most assists in League Two this season? Quite a close league, actually. Looks like, depending on what happened in the result, Clover are going to jump up in their first season under Paul Hartley. Let's go to the answers. The answer is Jamie Masson of Cove Rangers. He has 9 assists this season. Craig Thompson and Alex Harris, both of Edinburgh City, in second place. They've got 8 assists each, and so does David Galt, who also has 8 assists. He's a Queen's Park player. He once quit Queen's Park so he could go run a marathon. We're just different people. Different people. Question number 6. We've done a few from this season. Let's go a bit longer over the piece. Celtic hold the record for most consecutive appearances in a League Cup final, but how many was it? Celtic hold the record for the most consecutive League Cup final appearances, but how many was it? 4, 7, 10, or 14? How many? 4, 7, 10, or 14? I've just been saying this. Someone's commented on YouTube about me. Ollie McBurney has let himself go, which I'm actually over the moon about because it's not John Hartson for a change. So I'll take that. Thank you, whoever that was. So, Celtic hold the record for most consecutive appearances in the League Cup final, but how many was it? The answer is 14. Between 1965 and 1978, 14 appearances in a row in a League Cup final for Celtic. Mad. Absolutely mad. Question number 7. Back to this season. Question number 7. Who are Glasgow City due to play in the Women's Champions League quarter-final? Who are Glasgow City due to play in the Women's Champions League quarter-final? Wolfsburg, Lyon, Arsenal, or Barcelona? This was meant to be played just after all kind of football got cancelled. They've done brilliantly to get there. Glasgow City women's team. So they were either going to be playing Wolfsburg, Lyon, Arsenal, or Barcelona. Which one was it? If you've kept up with women's football this season, as you should after a great World Cup campaign, maybe not in the final game, but all the way up to it. Sorry, Shelley Kerr, I know you're watching, but we should have won it. Not the competition, but that game. The correct answer is Wolfsburg. A. Wolfsburg. They were meant to be playing the German side. Lyon, also in Barcelona. Arsenal, Scotland international Jerry Beattie plays down there. Also in the draw, PSG, Bayern Munich. So it's great to see Glasgow City in with these European heavyweights, and hopefully when the tie comes around, they absolutely pump Wolfsburg. Question number 8. Question number 8. Let's go to this one. Which team is currently bottom of the Lowland League? This brutal. Which team is currently bottom of the Lowland League? A. Vale of Leithen, B. Dalbeattie Star, C. Edinburgh University, or D. Gretna 2008? Which team is currently bottom of the Lowland League? A. Vale of Leven, B. Dalbeattie Star, C. Edinburgh Uni, or D. Gretna 2008. Gretna 2008. So what does that make them? 11? 11 years old? 12 years old? Surely they'll be bottom if they are children. But I don't know what the standard is, so let's find out. Which team is currently bottom of the Lowland League? The answer is A. Vale of Leven. So the 11-year-olds are better than Vale of Leven. So well done to the children at Gretna. Vale of Leven currently bottom of the Lowland League. Question 8. Let's go to question 9, the penultimate one in this round. Penultimate means second last. Brora Rangers were crowned as winners of the Highland League. But who were runners up? So the Highland League just wrapped it up, said Brora, you've won. I presume there were games in hand like in the Championship, but they made a decision like we were meant to at 5 p.m. Brora Rangers were crowned. Who were runners up? Fort Martin United, Fraserburgh, Inverurie Local Works, or Buckie Thistle? Who finished runners up of the Highland League? Fort Martin, Fraserburgh, Inverurie Local Works, or Buckie Thistle? Correct answer for this one, runner up in the Highland League this season were Inverurie Local Works. Inverurie Local Works, runners up in the Highland League behind Brora Rangers. And at least let's have a look at if league restructuring does happen. Maybe Brora will be moving up and Inverurie might get a chance next season. Final question of this round, the Scottish Football General Knowledge round. Some people mess again saying this is quite hard. Some of them will get easier, some of them will get harder. Well, let's be honest, what else are you going to do tonight? You've got nothing. Just play along and stop crying. Question 10. When was the last time neither Celtic nor Rangers won the top division in Scotland? As a non-Rangers or Celtic fan, this is quite a depressing question. When was the last time Celtic or Rangers didn't win the top flight in Scotland? 80 to 81, 82 to 83, 84 to 85, or 86 to 87? When was the last time neither Celtic nor Rangers won the top division in Scotland? 80 to 81, 82 to 83, 84 to 85, or 86 to 87? Older viewers should get this one. I was born just after this, but I kind of knew it. So you should. If you didn't, and you didn't know the answer, you took a guess, the correct answer was C. 1984 to 85. Aberdeen won it that year. So we've had 25 years pretty much of the old firm winning it either side back to back. So Aberdeen won it in 84 to 85, and that was the correct answer. So that's the end of round 1. Well done to everyone who's taken part so far. Let's see what did I get told I look like. Someone else on the chat has said I look like an ill Sean Dyche. See if you ever get a chance. Kenny Duker has an incredible Sean Dyche story that if I tell you right now, I would get sacked. If you ever get a chance to see Kenny Duker or on a radio or a podcast or whatever, listen to it. It's phenomenal. And other people getting in touch, let us know where they are. We've got Adam Beacon in Isle of Arran, John Deacon in Vietnam, Adam Brown, Douglas Noon in Saudi Arabia, Des Kane in Motherwell. We went exotic and then we came to Motherwell, so not as good. Anyway, let's go for the second chance tonight to win this shirt. Some mixed comments of people saying they love it or they hate it. I love it. I want one. So this is a shirt from Foco. It's a Hawaiian print national team. Not a sentence you ever get to say. And in this one, we're going to be playing for the medium size of this shirt. Same as before, it's a sequence. I'm going to give you 4 answers. I need you to give me the 5th one. Same as before, Facebook Live, comment on there. If you're on Twitter, #BigFootballQuiz. And people who message me will pick someone at random and this will be sent out to you. So, which country is next in this sequence? I'm going to give you 4 countries. You need to tell me the 5th one. French, English, Welsh, Colombian. Which country is next in this sequence? French, English, Welsh, Colombian. Get your answers in on Facebook. Get your answers in to Big Football Quiz on Twitter. And let's have a look at that. And I think you will have probably about 5-10 minutes to get them in. Also, we'll be doing our rounders, and we're also going to be able to have a chance and have a look at the leaderboard so far in just a second. So everyone who's taken part will get their leaderboard points up here. So right now in equal first, we've got 3 people. We have Gary McWee, we've got Chris Sampson, and Chris McCrae. So they're in the leaderboard just now. But it is that kind of quiz where I'll be honest, I've seen some of the questions. People will get them wrong quite a lot, so there's a chance to jump up and move about. So we'll be coming back to this leaderboard at the end of each round, and hopefully we'll be getting an update to see how each kind of Scotland representative, whether it's Ian Maxwell or Steve Clark or Shelley Kerr, is getting on. Put it this way, I didn't see any of them at the top of the leaderboard, so well done if you're there. That's round 1 down. Let's move on to round 2. Round 2 is a Scottish Cup round, so let's do it. So, round number 2 of 5 is a Scottish Cup round. Same as before. If you're having any problems, no one's reported that yet, but if you are, make sure you refresh it and you should be able to get right back into the quiz. Fastest fingers first, remember. So the quicker you answer the question, you saw there the points, the more points you get. That's how we're going to do it. So make sure you get your answers in quickly. Let's go to question 1 in the Scottish Cup round, so question 11 in total. Let's start this off. Nice simple one to start off. What year did the first Scottish Cup final take place? What year did the first Scottish Cup final take place? 1871, 1872, 1873 or 1874? What year did the first Scottish Cup final take place? 1871, 1872, 1873 or 1874? I think I saw this in a mural when I went by a train station recently. So if you've been to the south side of Glasgow, you might have this answer. The first Scottish Cup final took place, and the correct answer is D. 1874. 1874 it took place, and Queen's Park beat Clydesdale in the final. I think in the round before they played RBS, and the one before that they played Nationwide. So a good run for them, a 2-0 victory for them. So I think Howard from the Halifax Advert scored both goals. So that was D. 1874. I keep saying 19 because when did we ever talk about the 1800s? Question 12. Let's go from the first Scottish Cup final to the last Scottish Cup final. Who scored the opening goal of last season's Scottish Cup final? Who scored the opening goal of last season's Scottish Cup final? Sean Clare, Callum McGregor, Ryan Edwards or Odsonne Edouard? Who scored the opening goal of last season's Scottish Cup final? It's between Celtic and Hearts, the 24th of May, something like that. Sean Clare, Callum McGregor, Ryan Edwards and Odsonne Edouard. If as a Thistle fan, this answer resonates me because I couldn't believe it. The correct answer is C. Ryan Edwards. And the reason I couldn't believe it is he left us at the end of the season before, didn't really do much, went to St Mirren, didn't really do much, didn't really play a lot under Levine at Hearts in the second half, started in the cup final, scored and then released him. Very odd, he's down at Burton Albion now. But Ryan Edwards, there's a great song about him and Jack Sparrow that I won't be allowed to repeat the words. Go and check out the chant, it's very accurate. So Ryan Edwards, correct answer there. Question 13. Question 13 is, which manager has won the most Scottish Cups? Question 13, which manager has won the most Scottish Cups? Willie Maley, Walter Smith, Jock Stein or Bill Struth? Which manager has won the most Scottish Cups? Pretty legendary names in there, I think we'll all agree. They've all won it a few times, but which has won the most? Willie Maley, Walter Smith, Jock Stein or Bill Struth? Correct answer is A. Willie Maley. Willie Maley has won it 14 times. 14 times he's won it. To give you the comparison to the other ones, Bill Struth won it 10 times, Jock Stein won it 8, and Walter Smith won it 5. So there's your list. Willie Maley head and shoulders above everyone else with 4 extra wins. So well done if you got that one. Let's move on to question 14. So question 14. When was the last Scottish Cup final not to be played at Hampden? When was the last Scottish Cup final not to be played at Hampden? 1993, 1998, 2014 or 2018? When was the last Scottish Cup final not to be played at Hampden? Was it 93, 98, 2014 or 2018? Have a think about that one. When was the last Scottish Cup final? When was the last Scottish Cup final not to be played at Hampden? Few different options here. There's different reasons you could pick for each one. I got this one wrong when I did the quiz myself. So the last Scottish Cup final not to be played at Hampden, the correct answer is C, 2014. Well done if you got that. It was St Johnstone at Dundee United at Celtic Park, and the reason that was is because they were getting Hampden ready for the Commonwealth Games, and it couldn't be played there, so it had to be played at Celtic Park. So well done if you got that one right. I didn't. I thought it was when Hampden was getting restructured, but that's because I'm an idiot. Question 15. Question 15. Which club holds the record for the longest winning streak in Scottish Cup final appearances? Which club holds the record for the longest winning streak in Scottish Cup final appearances? Some of the biggest clubs here, we have Aberdeen, Celtic, Hearts or Rangers. Which club holds the record for the longest winning streak in Scottish Cup final appearances? Aberdeen, Celtic, Hearts or Rangers? So who holds the longest winning streak in Scottish Cup final appearances? Again, one for our older viewers. The correct answer is D, Rangers. Rangers won 14 in a row when they actually made it. It wasn't back to back, but 14 cup finals in a row they won. So well done. It's pretty mad, isn't it? Consider when was the last time they won it? They've not won in a while, so maybe that run's probably over. Question 16. This is one I've just annoyed some Rangers fans. Why not annoy some Hibs fans? Between 1902 and 2016, how many Scottish Cup finals did Hibs lose? Between 1902 and 2016, how many Scottish Cup finals did Hibs lose? It's not like we're doing 1 or 2. It's 8, 10, 12 or 14. I wonder at home whether more Hearts fans will get this right than Hibs fans. I wonder if that's... I wish we could get the stats on that. Between 1902 and 2016, how many Scottish Cup finals did Hibs lose? 8, 10, 12 or 14? How many cup finals did they lose? The correct answer is between 1902 and 2016, Hibs lost 10 Scottish Cup finals. Don't know if you know this, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. So at least you won one, Hibs fans. And I know Kenny Miller, who works at Hibs, is watching, so I'm glad you won that one, Kenny, because seeing you cry too much was a good laugh. Question 17. Let's go there. Let's now annoy some Celtic fans. Question 17. One of the most iconic nights in Scottish football in probably the last 20-30 years. Super Cali goal ballistic, Celtic are atrocious. It was 20 years ago now. But who was the Celtic goal scorer that night? Celtic Inverness, a very famous game. Who scored for Celtic? Mark Bradshaw, Mark Viduka, Lubomir Moravcik or Ayal Berkovic? Who was Celtic's goal scorer that night? Bradshaw, Viduka, Moravcik or Berkovic? I can't believe this was 20 years ago. I remember the headline. It kind of went all around the world, didn't it? So the Celtic goal scorer that night, I think it was a 3-1 loss. The Celtic goal scorer that night was A, Mark Bradshaw. Mark Bradshaw scored. He actually equalised within a minute of them going behind. Lubomir Moravcik scored an own goal in that game. Actually, this strip, I played one of my favourite Thistle players of my lifetime, Chris Doolan. I got to play in his testimonial, and I played against Celtic, and Bradshaw and Moravcik were both playing, and my first touch was stopping Moravcik from nutmegging me, and as I ran by him, he just swore at me. So thank you, Lubomir Moravcik. Mark Bradshaw also now has a great job. He's the European scout for Bournemouth. So well done him. Question number 18. Question number 18. If you watch the Scottish Cup, this was maybe the start of February. They played on telly. BSC Glasgow made the fourth round for the first time in their history this season. Where do they play their home games? So BSC Glasgow, where do they play their home games? Is it the Pennycar Stadium in Airdrie, Indodrill Stadium in Alloa, Broadwood Stadium at Clyde, or K Park, East Kilbride? Not a big fan of stadiums being sponsored, apart from the Tony Macaroni, which is just class, the spaghetti ad. Pennycar Stadium in Airdrie, Indoor Stadium in Alloa, Broadwood for Clyde, or K Park East Kilbride. Where did BSC Glasgow play their home games? If you know this answer, you might have seen them. They played in the 4th round Scottish Cup. They lost to Hibs. The correct answer is where they play their home games is B, the Indoor Stadium in Alloa. They lost 4-1 to Hibs. Mark McNulty scoring a hat-trick back when football was allowed to be played. The good old days. Question 19, the penultimate question in this round, which means second last. Ross County. Ross County were the only Premiership team to be knocked out of this season's 4th round in the Scottish Cup. Who knocked them out? So who knocked Ross County out this season? Ayr United, Inverness Cally Thistle, Livingston, or St Johnstone? So Ross County get knocked out in the 4th round. Who knocked them out? Was it Ayr United, Inverness Cally Thistle, Livingston, or St Johnstone? I remember watching the highlights on Sports Scene of this. It didn't even make it that far up the programme, so it can't have been too big a shock. So the correct answer was A, Ayr United. Ayr United beat them 1-0 at Somerset Park, Stephen Bell scoring the goal. So Ayr United knocked them out. And finally, final question of this round. This question's a belter. I'm only going to say that a couple of times in this. There's one in particular in the podcast round, which I think is the best question in the quiz. This one's a good one. Arbroath hold the record win of 36-0 over Bonaccord in 1885. On the same day, Dundee Harp beat Aberdeen Rovers by what score? So, Arbroath hold the record win 36-0. What did Dundee Harp beat Aberdeen Rovers by? 32-0, 33-0, 34-0, or 35-0? This is the top level of Scottish football at the time. 32-0, 33-0, 34-0, 35-0. How much did Dundee Harp beat Aberdeen Rovers by? 32, 33, 34. Not even a consolation. Like, that's the mad part. How bad must they have been? Because I've played in some terrible amateur teams, and I think the most we've ever lost is 31 now, so that's embarrassing. The correct answer is D, 35-0. And I'm going to look at the notes here because I'll give you the background on this. Arbroath won 36-0, but also had 5 goals disallowed. 5 goals disallowed. The referee in the Dundee Harp game, in his book, had it was 37-0. The Harp secretary had it as 35, and the ref just went with that, so they just moved on. So they could have had 37-0 and could have had the record that everyone talks about, but instead it went to Arbroath. So well done if you got that answer right. I wouldn't have had a Scooby. And that's the end of the Scottish Cup round. Some tricky questions in there, I think. But before we go on to the next round, let's give away another beautiful Hawaiian shirt, medium size, courtesy of Foco. Let's give away. There it is there on the screen. It's the must-have item. I don't think you need to wear jeans or anything like that with it, so it's perfect for the lockdown. The question we asked you was, name the next country in this list. French, English, Welsh, Colombian. Name the next country in that sequence. The correct answer was Scottish. And the question was nationalities of the top scorer in the Premiership this season. French, Odsonne Edouard. English, Jermaine Defoe. Welsh, Christian Doige. That one might have thrown a few people. Colombian, Alfredo Morelos. And Scottish, Ryan Christie. So, the winner of the Foco Hawaiian Scottish national team shirt coming out to you is Chris Rush. Chris Rush, his photo on Twitter is a piggyback or something like that. You have won this strip. Get in touch, either Twitter, Facebook, whatever you're on, and get in touch with the guys who are running the quiz, and they will be sending one out to you after lockdown. Got other people playing. Mark Elder saying hi from Dundee fan in Elric. Craig Morrison, County Beath. Kevin Kennedy in East Kilbride. Hope you get that K Park question wrong. And Jamie Baldra in Dingwall. Let us know where you're playing along from, because everyone's in the same situation, different countries. I know I've got a mate who's trying to play along in Malaysia. Let us know if you're overseas and playing along. Before we do that, 2 rounds done. Let's go back to the leaderboard. Let's see how people are getting on. Let's see Okay, so we've got some changes, some new names. Top of the leaderboard right now is Ross Parker and Ewan Taylor. Joint top of the leaderboard there. We have Chris in third place as well, and the leaderboard below it is changing all the time. So I think some of the questions are that hard. If you get one question right, you bump up quite a lot. So that's the leaderboard there, and we're going to be giving away our next Foco Hawaiian shirt, and this one's the large size. The large size, same as before, it's another sequence. You've got a bit longer to answer this question. Get in touch, hashtag Big Football Quiz on Twitter or the Facebook comments. Get in touch there. Who's the next player in this sequence? James Forrest, Lee Griffiths, Andy Robertson, Jason Denier, Kieran Tierney. James Forrest, Lee Griffiths, Andy Robertson, Jason Denier, Kieran Tierney. Who's the next player in this sequence? We'll pick someone at random with the right answer. Get in touch with hashtag Big Football Quiz. Get on Twitter. Get in touch in the Facebook comments, and we'll be giving away that prize later on. 2 rounds done. Let's move on to round 3. I think the hardest round, but maybe not. Let's find out. So, round 3, name the player. So, name the player. What we're going to do is we're going to show you a picture of someone in Scottish football. You're going to tell us who it is, same as before. Multiple choices, fastest finger first. The quicker you get your answer in, the more points you score. Let's go to question 1. I'm going to show you the picture first, and then we'll give you the answers. So, picture first. There's that player. Name them. Ulises de la Cruz, Jorge Claros, Junior Agogo, or Eduardo Hutardo. I'm not going to lie, Eduardo Hutardo is easily the most fun name to say of them. Let's go through it again. Your options are, for this player, take a quick look at him. Ulises de la Cruz, Jorge Claros, Junior Agogo, or Eduardo Hutardo. Have some deliberating. Let us know who you think it is, because let's look at the answers. D. Eduardo Hutardo. Ecuadorian international, same as Ulises de la Cruz. He played 12 appearances for Hibs, scoring 1 goal, 74 caps for Ecuador. I think he played in the 2002 World Cup straight after leaving Hibs. So well done if you got that one. Nice start. That's the first one in this. Like I said, we're going to have 10 picture rounds. Let's go to question 22. Okay, question 22. Name this player. Is it Franco Miranda, Aaron Moy, Billy Mehmet, or Jure Travner? Who is this lovely bald specimen? Franco Miranda, Aaron Moy, Billy Mehmet, or Jure Travner? Who is that player? Correct answer for this one is C. Billy Mehmet. So it's Billy Mehmet. Played in Scotland for a while. 49 games for Dunfermline, 161 for St Mirren, moved to Turkey. I have a Billy Mehmet story. I do a football podcast called Soccer FM. We used to interview players all around the world, and he was playing in Singapore at the time, and we agreed to do an interview, and then we phoned him, and he said he couldn't talk because he was in contract talks, but all we could hear in the background was like smooth music and a woman talking, and I was like, okay, yeah, you're definitely not doing that, but good luck, I hope you get it over the line. So that's my Billy Mehmet story. Question 23. Let's go there. Who's this? In the Ranger strip there, Stali Sensas, Jonas Tern, Gianni Cupola, or Thomas Buffel? Name that player. Stali Stensis, Jonas Tern, Gianni Cupola, or Thomas Buffel? Name the player. I got this one wrong. I thought it was someone else. The correct answer of who it is B. Jonas Tern. Jonas Tern Swede signed for Rangers in 1997. Only played 23 games due to injury at that time, where Rangers just signed injured players, Daniel Prodan, Sebastian Rosenthal. So the answer was Jonas Ter. Right. Question 24. Question 24. Name this player. In a Kelly strip, I think in front of Kelly's biggest crowd. Is it Rui Miguel? Is it Danny Invincible? Is it Jerome Teslar? Or is it Borja Perez? Borja Perez. Who is this player? Rui Miguel, Danny Invincible, Jerome Teslar, or Borja Perez? Who is this player? Correct answer for this one is A. Rui Miguel. The Portuguese frontman, if you did get it right, don't worry. He played 21 games for Kelly in 2010 to 2011, and he scored 2 goals, which I believe made him the top scorer for Kelly that season. So that was Rui Miguel, number 24. 25, we're going a bit more old school, rather than the kind of early of the last decade. Let's go a bit older. Who's this lovely specimen? Is it Gary McSwegan, Scott Crabb, Jamie McQuilkin, or David Hanna? Who is that on your screens just now? At a time when haircuts were looser and shorts were tighter. Who is this player? Gary McSwegan, Scott Crabb, Jamie McQuilkin, or David Hanna? The correct answer for this one is D. David Hanna. Played for lots of clubs in Scotland, so some of you might have recognised him not from his Dundee United days, but other clubs. He also played for Celtic, Ross County, St Johnstone, Brecon, Cowdenbeath. He's now a manager over in Finland. So that was D. David Hanna. 25th question, we're halfway through the quiz. Let's keep it ticking over. Let's go to question 26. Name the player. Nice and simple, same format as before. Who's that? Graham Weir, Gary Wales, Stephen Boyack, or Dennis Wyness? Who is that player celebrating in the Hearts top? Graham Weir, Gary Wales, Stephen Boyack, or Dennis Wyness? Correct answer on this one, the guy in the Hearts top, is, I think some people will have got this because he played for lots of clubs, Dennis Wyness. Dennis Wyness started at Aberdeen. He played for Inverness, Hearts, St Mirren. I've got the list here. Queen of the South, Dumbarton, Peterhead, Elgin, Buckie Thistle, Huntly. He was all over the place. That was Dennis Wyness. 27. We've had Hearts. Let's go down the M8 to Motherwell. Name this player. Who is it? Is it Simon Lappin, Stephen McGarry, Chris Porter, or Kevin McBride? Who is this Motherwell player? Go for the answers again. Simon Lappin, Stephen McGarry, Chris Porter, or Kevin McBride? Well done if you got this one. Someone who should have left a kind of effect in Scottish football. It was C. Chris Porter. Chris Porter scored 23 goals in 59 games before moving to Derby. It wouldn't have been Stephen McGarry. He's a very bald man and lives in Australia. And I once asked him how much suntan lotion he uses in his head, and he said sometimes he just uses Tipp-Ex. So there you go. So well done if you got Chris Porter there. 28. We've got 3 more in this round, 3 more picture rounds. Let's head further up. Let's go to 28. Name this player. He looks like an accountant, doesn't he? That's what my first thought was. Accountant's not an option. The options are David Zadrilic, Roberto Visconti, Rory Fallon, or David Grassi? Who is this player? The accountant, David Zadrilic? Is it the accountant, Roberto Visconti? The accountant, Rory Fallon? Or the accountant, David Grassi? I'll be honest, I've only heard of 3 of these players. So if you went for the one I've not heard of, unlucky. The correct answer is C. Rory Fallon. New Zealand international, came up here, played for St Johnstone as well, scored 3 goals for Aberdeen in 37 appearances, I scored a big goal for Aberdeen that you can see in the Scottish FA's channels this weekend. I've never heard of David Grassi, so let me know. Was he good, Aberdeen fans? I mean, if he's in this list, probably not. 2 more to go. Let's go 29. Let's have a look. In a Dundee strip, here we go. Let's have a look. Who are your options for this one? Andrew Barrowman, Glenn Atlee-Larson, Carl Finnegan, or Ryan Conroy? Who's the guy in the Dundee top? Andrew Barrowman, Glenn Atlee-Larson, Carl Finnegan, or Ryan Conroy? A man of many clubs. If you got it, well done. The correct answer is A. Andrew Barrowman. Andrew Barrowman, 15 different clubs. Pretty much, he went through a time of, if your club was going into administration, he was playing for you. Played for Dundee, Dunfermline, Livy, Ross County, amongst other clubs. A man got about and now runs a sportswear business, I think. Final one of the questions. We've been all around Scotland. Let's finish back in Glasgow. Name this player. 4 options: Edson Brafield, Stephen Moyokolo, Olivier Capo, or Landry Nguemo. Who is the guy in... Was this the Bumblebee top? It looks alright, doesn't it? I don't think it's too bad. It's good if you're cycling home in the dark. Was it Edson Brafield, Stephen Moyokolo, Olivier Capo, or Landry Nguemo? Final one for Guess the Player. Question number 30. The correct answer is D. Landry Nguemo. On loan from, it doesn't tell me who, in 2009, played 35 games. Edson Brafield played in the same season, also played in the World Cup final that year, came on for Holland, despite not really doing much up here. Well done if you got that. I've got some updates on how people are getting on. We'll be showing the leaderboard in a sec, but we have, let's see, Shelley Kerr is currently in the top 380. So well done if you're ahead of her. Ian Maxwell is currently sitting in the top 50. So well done, Ian Maxwell, well done. But also, a bit convenient that you work in the office where this was made. So if you win, also if Ian Maxwell wins, does he hand the prize back? He better. We've got some other people letting us know where they're watching it from. So we got Alan Campbell in Vancouver, Gary Knight in Stirling, and also Callum Johnson, 9 years old, playing along with his dad in Motherwell. Thanks for playing, Callum, and also you're the reason I'm not allowed to swear in these things. So hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you're good getting homeschooled right now. We've got 30 questions down, 20 to go. Before we do that, let's take a look at the updated leaderboard. So like we said, we've got thousands and thousands of people playing along just now. Current leaderboard, we've got, is that a new leader? Yep, so we've got an outright leader for the first time so far. We've got Ewan Taylor on 24, and below him we've got Ryan and Damien on 23. There's a few people like that, so well done. Let me zoom in, and then it tells, for some reason they've sent me who's in first, second, and then 184th place. So well done. Let's give out the shout to people in 148th place, 184th even, not even that good. Scott White, Kevin McBriar, Graham Fletcher, Liam Murphy, Michael Timmins, Jamie Smith, Graham Donaldson, Matthew Patterson, and Claire McIntyre. Well done. You're all in 184th place. I quite like that. Keep doing that, actually. Give me the people that aren't doing that well, because the people that are doing well, they're already doing better in life. We don't need to shout them out. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get on to question round 4. Question round 4, the Scotland round. So, we've got 10 questions here, all about Scotland national team. Lots of kind of different questions, different ages, different eras. Let's see the first question. Let's just kick it off. Question 31. Which of these teams has the Scotland men's A side never faced? So which of these teams has the Scotland men's A side never faced? Andorra, Egypt, Paraguay, or Turkey? Scotland man side, A side, not the B. I miss B team games, by the way. When I was growing up, they were always on. They were class. You got to see guys like Warren Cumming. I missed them. Scotland men's A team Who have they never faced? Andorra, Egypt, Paraguay, or Turkey? Who have we never faced? Let's see the answer. The answer is, somewhat surprisingly, we've never faced Andorra, despite being in the same UEFA qualifying group kind of setting. We played Egypt in the 1990 at Pitaudry, Turkey in 1960, and Paraguay in the 1958 World Cup. That, I think, remember we played Peru last year and people used to call off for their weddings. Hopefully that didn't happen in the 1958 World Cup either. Question number two. Question number two of this round, 32 in total. Let's go for who has got more goals for Scotland. Who's got more goals for Scotland? Going to give you the four potential options. We've got Joe Jordan, Ali McCoist, James McFadden, or Kenny Miller. Who has got more goals for Scotland? Joe Jordan, Ali McCoist, James McFadden, or Kenny Miller. All in double figures for their country, but who has got the most? Joe Jordan, Ali McCoist, James McFadden, or Kenny Miller? The correct answer is B, Ali McCoist. Ali McCoist has 19 goals for his country. Kenny Miller just behind him on 18. I mean, Kenny Miller is probably going to play on till he's 60, so there's a chance he might beat that. James McFadden on 15 and Joe Jordan on 11. I know Kenny Miller's retired, but he was a manager for 30 days. He'll do weird things. He'll come back. He'll be back soon. So Ali McCoist on 19. That's the correct answer. Question number 33. Done the men's side, let's go to the women's side. Who is the current Scotland women's national team captain? Is it Kim Little, Jo Love, Lee Alexander, or Rachel Corsie? Who is the current Scotland women's national team captain? I mean, Shelley Kerr, I know you're not doing that well. You should probably get this one right. If not, maybe think about your job. Kim Little, Jo Love, Lee Alexander, Rachel Corsie, Shelley Kerr. Which one did you make captain of your side? The correct answer is D, Rachel Corsie. The Aberdeen native, currently playing out for Utah Royals over in America. I follow her on Instagram and she mainly eats cake and cycles her bike. So don't tell her I said that because I think she'll be raging actually. Oh, I just remembered her manager's watching. Sorry, Rachel. Anyway, question 34. Let's move on before I get someone stripped of an armband. Question 34. I love that this question says that goal. That goal. We all know which one it is. Pick it out. Which club was James McFadden playing for when he scored that goal for Scotland in Paris? Who was James McFadden playing for when he scored that goal? Birmingham City, Everton, Motherwell, or Sunderland? Who was James McFadden playing for when he scored that goal for Scotland in Paris? Was it Birmingham City? Was it Everton he was at? Was he still at Motherwell? Or was he at Sunderland? James McFadden, 2007, when he scored that goal against Paris, against France in Paris, he was playing for, the correct answer is B, Everton. He was playing for Everton at the time, and I remember it was my freshers week of uni. I remember watching it. What a goal. And yes, before you put in the comments, I'm older than I look. Question 35. Let's have a look. Question number 35. Who scored Scotland's first goal of the new millennium in a 2-1 friendly win over the Republic of Ireland in Dublin? So who scored the first goal of the new millennium? Barry Ferguson, Don Hutchison, Craig Burley, or Neil McCann? Who scored Scotland's first goal of the new millennium? Ferguson, Hutchison, Burley, or McCann? Just come off the back of the playoffs against England, obviously. Turning the corner of the new century. Who scored our first goal? Was it Barry Ferguson, Don Hutchison, Craig Burley, Neil McCann? Well done if you got this, if you remembered. The correct answer is B, Don Hutchison. Don Hutchison scored the first one. If you put Barry Ferguson for that one, he scored the second in a 2-1 win. So Don Hutchison with that one. Right answer there. Let's go 3 years later on. Quite a depressing question actually. Who was in goals the last time Scotland were in a playoff back in 2003? 17 years ago was the last time we were in a playoff. Who was in goals? Rab Douglas, Neil Sullivan, Jonathan Gould, Craig Gordon. Who was in goals the last time Scotland played in a playoff, 2003 against Holland? Rab Douglas, Neil Sullivan, Jonathan Gould, or Craig Gordon? Who was in goals? If you think about that time of era, you should be able to answer it, because the correct answer is A. Rab Douglas. Rab Douglas is a time where Celtic were flying in Europe, the UEFA Cup season. Jonathan Gould, coincidentally, was on the bench. Jonathan Gould, I didn't think played that long, because you mainly now see him in those wee 15-minute classic Old Firm games or whatever. He's always in them. Question 37. Let's go to a World Cup question about Scotland. A World Cup question. Which of these cities has Scotland not played a World Cup match in? So which of these cities has Scotland not played a World Cup match in? Dortmund in Germany, Milan, Seville, or Zurich? Which of these cities, has Scotland not played a World Cup match in? Dortmund, Milan, Seville, or Zurich? Which of these has Scotland not played a World Cup match in? The correct answer is, a bit of a trick one, this one. We've not played a match in B. Milan. We've not played a match in Milan because in 1990 we played in Italy, we played in Turin and Genoa. We played in Zurich in 1954 when Kenny Miller made his debut, and Dortmund in 74 and Seville in 82. So well done if you got that, well done if you avoided the trick. Question 38 I think has been put in just to annoy me, so let's go to that. Question 38. Who took the corner that set up Gary Caldwell's goal against France in 2006? My best friend Gary Caldwell. He scored, to be fair, scored a good goal. Good goal scorer, terrible manager. Who took the corner that set him up? Barry Ferguson, James McFadden, Paul Hartley, or Darren Fletcher? Who took the corner that set it up? 2006 at Hampden. Gary Caldwell slides in, half volley, puts it in the net. Who took the corner? The correct answer is C. Paul Hartley. Paul Hartley, if you remember the game, it's a outswinger, and Caldwell just comes in, meets it well, and then 13 years later he would come on and not to be a good manager for Partick Thistle. Who would have thought it at the time? Question 39. Let's move on because I want to keep on my job. Question 39. Which country outside of the British Isles have Scotland beat the most? So out with British countries, who have we beat the most? Lithuania, Norway, Faroe Islands, or Denmark? Who have we beat the most? Lithuania, Norway, Faroe Islands, or Denmark? Played a lot of these countries a lot of times over the last few years. Who have we beat the most? Lithuania, Norway, Faroe Islands, or Denmark? The correct answer is, well done if you got it, is D. Denmark. I'll give you the numbers, right? We beat Denmark 10 times. We've beat Norway 9 times. If we beat Israel in this playoff, we would then play Norway or Serbia. Norway might beat Serbia. If we beat them, that would be a record for the country. The 10th win against Norway. We beat Faroe Islands 7 times. Should be 8, but we didn't have a good one. And we beat Lithuania 6 times. Final question for the Scottish round. Which one is this one? Which Scotland manager earned most caps as a player? Which Scotland manager earned most caps as a player? Gordon Strachan, Craig Levein, Alex McLeish, or Bertie Vogts? So who earned the most caps as a player? Was it Gordon Strachan, Craig Levein, Alex McLeish, or Bertie Vogts? Correct answer on this one, the most caps as a player. Which Scotland manager was? Bit of a trick one. The answer is D. Bertie Vogts. Bertie Vogts. This is a sneaky one. I thought that was put in as a joke answer, but it turns out it wasn't. He won 96 caps for West Germany, so technically he was our most capped player who managed us. Alex McLeish was on 77 caps. 77. So that's the end of the Scotland round. Well done if you got that there. Still people keeping in touch. So let's have a look, see who's getting in touch. We have Stuart Ibar in Carluke, Michael McDonald in Inverness playing along, Ian Mortimer playing in Edinburgh with Hillary, Callum Higgins in Nairn, 11-year-old Olivia Romeo playing in Bishop Briggs. Hopefully she's still ahead of Ian Maxwell. And Cheryl Grace from Dumbarton, who's taking great delight in beating her husband. We also, earlier on, we asked you a question for the spot prize for this beautiful strip. The Foco Hawaiian national team. Is it a national team shirt? I don't know if we've done a deal. Let's say if we end up going to Panama next season and round there on pre-season friendlies, we know we've done a deal. The question was, this was for the large version at the top. Who is the next player in this sequence? James Forrest, Lee Griffiths, Andy Robertson, Jason Denaye, Kieran Tierney. Who is the next player in this sequence? The correct answer was Kieran Tierney again. And the reason why, the question was PFA Young Players of the Years. Who were they? We had James Forrest, Lee Griffiths, Andy Robertson, Jason Denaye, Kieran Tierney, and Kieran Tierney won it again in 2017. So between 2012 and 2017, there are the people that won it. So, well done if you got the answer. The winner of that one is coming to Ailey Rowe. So congratulations, Ailey, you got that right. Kieran Tierney, the large Hawaiian Scotland national team, still I laugh every time I say it, is coming your way. Get in touch with the people in the quiz and they'll be sending that out to you. Final chance to win one of these strips is now. Let's go. This is the extra large top. Same as before, Big Football Quiz on Twitter, hashtag Big Football Quiz on Twitter, or on the Facebook comments. Who is next in this sequence? Rangers, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Aberdeen. Who is next on this sequence? Rangers, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Aberdeen. Who's the next one in this sequence? Get in touch, Facebook, on the stream. Get in touch, hashtag Big Football Quiz on Twitter, and we'll give you the answer and the winner after that. We've got one more round. Let's have a look at the leaderboard as we're going ahead. So let's go there. So, new leader, we have Kenny Patterson in joint first place with Ross Latimer. So well done them, joint place guys. And then also this time I can tell you who is in 112th place. So well done to Jamie Donaldson, Scott White, Bert Hall, Gareth Spowett, Callum Shield, Stephen Gladman, I think I went to school with, Scott Clackers, Andrew John Simpson and Liam Murphy. These guys are all in 112th place, and as my mum always said, it's the people in 112th place who are the real winners in life. Got one more round. Let's go for it. The final round is the podcast round. Different podcasts in Scotland have sent through some football questions. So let's do round 5, podcaster questions round. So, podcast questions round. We have different football podcasts have sent in different questions. So, leaderboard's still up. Let's go to the podcast questions, the first round. So, let's have a look at that. Question number 41. It's been sent in by Pure Football. Pure Football have sent in the question, each question in this round, different podcasts. So we've got Lower League Rambling, Leading the Line, Terrace. We'll go through them all as we go. Here's question 41. Who did Oliver Burke score his only goal for Alaves against? Who did Oliver Burke score his only goal for Alaves against? Ollie Burke, did he score against Eibar, Sevilla, Getafe, Granada? Who did Oliver Burke score his only goal for Alaves against? Each question in this round is slightly harder, so I'm going to give you slightly longer to get your answer in for each one. So, Ollie Burke is out in Spain just now, playing for Alaves. Last scored for Scotland, I think, against Cyprus. One of 6 strikers they've started up front for us in the last year. Well done if you can name the other 5. Who did he score his Alaves goal against? Eibar, Sevilla, Getafe, or Granada? The correct answer is A, Eibar. Well done if you got that one right. Scored his only goal against them. Eibar, whichever one the answer is, that's the correct one. So thanks to Pure Football for sending it in. Question number 42. Again, we got another podcast get in touch with us, giving us this question. Lower League Ramblings. Which Scottish football stadium is at the highest altitude? Which Scottish football stadium is at the highest altitude? Falkirk, the Pennycar Stadium in Airdrie, Broadwood, or Fir Park? Which one of these is at the highest altitude? Falkirk Stadium, the Pennycar Stadium in Airdrie, Broadwood, or Fir Park? Which one are you more likely to get a nosebleed playing at? This is like when teams in South America go play at Quito and things like that, so you get an advantage. So one of these teams is always an advantage, and we didn't know. Which club is at the highest altitude? Falkirk, Airdrie, Broadwood, or Fir Park? The one that is at the highest altitude, well done if you got this, is Broadwood. Broadwood's highest altitude. I only played there once and I was rotten, so at least now I've got an excuse. That's good. That was altitude sickness. Let's go for the next one. Question 43. That's been sent in by Leading the Line. Which player scored the opening goal of the 2020 SWPL 1 season? Which player scored the opening goal of the 2020 SWPL 1 season? Hayley Lauder, Kelly Clark, Claire Shine, or Sarah Ewens? Which one scored the opening goal of this season? The season obviously can stop for a little bit, like other kind of stuff. Who scored the opening goal? Was it Hayley Lauder, Kelly Clark, Claire Shine, or Sarah Ewens? I can tell you that 3 of those players scored in that opening day. And the one that scored the opening goal of the SWPL 1 season was in fact C. Claire Shine. Claire Shine scored the opening goal for Glasgow City against Celtic, but unfortunately Sarah Ewens and Kelly Clark responded and to win 2-1 for Celtic. So Claire Shine opened the scoring but wasn't on the winning day at K Park that day. Well done if you got that. Question 44 has come from The Terrace, not only a podcast but also a football show on TV. Which of these players has not scored a double in a Scottish Cup final? Which of these players has not scored a double in a Scottish Cup final? Rudy Scatchell, Craig Conroy, Anthony Stokes, or Lee Griffiths? Who has not scored a double in the Scottish Cup final? Try to think back over the last kind of 10, 15, 20 years. Different cup finals, who's got what kind of goals? Was it Rudy Scatchell, Craig Conway, Anthony Stokes, or Lee Griffiths? This is from The Terrace, who also do their TV show on a Friday night. So if you've not checked out yet, definitely check out. Nice to see Scottish football getting represented on the telly. The correct answer for this one, question 44, is D. Lee Griffiths. Lee Griffiths has not scored a double. If you think about it, Rudy Scatchell scored in the 5-1 game, Stokes scored 2 for Hibs in the 3-2 game against Rangers, and Craig Conroy scored a double for Dundee United, I believe, back in 2010. So I don't even have notes on that. That's actually in my head, so I'm quite happy with that. Question 45. This, now we're getting dirty. Right, let's get into it. 2.1 podcast are naming and shaming, and I like their style. Which Scottish Premiership player has attempted the most shots without managing to score a goal this season? Brutal question. Who has scored the most, attempted the most shots without a goal? Michael Gardine, Stephen Davis, Murray Davidson, or Alan Power? Sorry. Whose shot to goal ratio is appalling? Michael Gardine, Stephen Davis, Murray Davidson, or Alan Power? I'm trying to think if any of them have even scored this season. The person I can tell you the answer is they've attempted 20 shots without scoring this season. So 20 shots without scoring this season. Thanks to the 2.1 podcast, let's name and shame. The person with the worst shot to goal ratio in the Scottish Premiership this season is A. Michael Gardine. Michael Gardine has 20 shots with no goals. Recently played his 400th appearance for Ross County, and in that time I believe he's managed 1 goal. That's not true, but if that ratio is happening, it probably is. I don't know if you remember if I said earlier in the quiz there was a question I really liked, and there's a question in the podcast round that I loved. This is the one I love. Question 46. Thanks to Nutmeg magazine for this. A little bit of trivia that will live with me for a long time. Which current Scottish Premiership manager nutmegged David Villa during New York City's first ever match? Which current Scottish Premiership manager nutmegged David Villa during New York City's first ever match? Jack Ross, Jim Goodwin, Stuart Kettlewell, or Stephen Ferguson? I love it. I love a nutmeg. I didn't think it would have been any of these players. I didn't think any of them would have graced the pitch with David Villa. But one of these managers has nutmegged David Villa on his New York City debut. Is it Jack Ross? Is it Jim Goodwin? Is it Stuart Kettlewell? Is it Stephen Ferguson? The correct answer for the person to have nutmegged David Villa on his New York City debut was, unbelievably, if you've ever seen him play, Jim Goodwin. Jim Goodwin, the silver-haired fox, nutmegged David Villa on his New York City. The comment says, I've got available to watch on YouTube. I've not watched it yet. I don't think it'll be that hard to search. I think if you put David Villa, Jim Goodwin, you should find it, because I don't imagine they're going to be making YouTube tutorials or anything like that. Check that one out, and thanks to Nutmeg magazine for that belting bit of trivia. Let's move on to question 47. This one comes in from Clyde Super Scoreboard, our friends over at Clyde. Who's the only player to finish as top scorer in Scotland's top flight for 3 different clubs? So who's the only player to finish as top scorer in Scotland's top flight for 3 different clubs? Is it Ali McCoist, Tommy Coyne, Scott McDonald, or Billy Dodds? Who's the only player to finish as top scorer in Scotland's top flight for 3 different clubs? Ali McCoist, Tommy Coyne, Scott McDonald, or Billy Dodds? All of them played for a couple of different clubs at least, scored lots of goals at each one. Which one finished top scorer in the Premiership, or as the top flight was then, for 3 different clubs? Ali McCoist, Tommy Coyne, Scott McDonald, Billy Dodds. The correct answer for this one is B, Tommy Coyne. Well done if you got that. I didn't. I went for McCoist because I thought Rangers killing St Johnstone, but no, it was Tommy Coyne. He did it with Celtic, Dundee, and Motherwell. Great feat. Well done to him, and well done to you if you got that right. Question number 48. Thanks to Super Scoreboard for that one. Question 48 has come from Talking Boz, a great name for a podcast. The highest ever attendance for a UEFA competition match at Hampden was in 1970 between which 2 teams? Which 2 teams with the highest ever attendance? Was it Scotland, England, Real Madrid, Eintracht Frankfurt, Bayern Munich against St Etienne, or Celtic against Leeds? I should tell you the attendance in this match was 136,505. Who would have garnered that attendance? Scotland, England, Real Madrid, Frankfurt, Bayern Munich against St Etienne, or Celtic against Leeds? Which is a time 136,000 at Hampden. That's unheard. It's impossible now. I mean, I think I went to a game in Australia and there was like 90,000, and that's still 45,000 off. Insane. Correct answer for this one. The highest ever attendance for a UEFA competition match at Hampden was Celtic v Leeds, 136,505. That was the European Cup semi-final in 1970. I believe Kerry Miller made his debut in that game. A record for any UEFA competition that still stands. Well done if you got that. 2 more questions to go, both from 2 different podcasts. Next one coming in is from the Totally Scottish Football Show. Who's Aberdeen's most expensive all-time signing? Who is Aberdeen's all-time most expensive signing? Is it Paul Bernard, Little Ian Jess, Arl Stavrum, or Lewis Ferguson? I remember an Aberdeen fan telling me years ago you have to say Little Ian Jess after everything you say, so that's what we're doing. Was it Paul Bernard, Little Ian Jess, Al Stavrum, or Lewis Ferguson? Who did Aberdeen pay £1 million to? Mad that £1 million and now you can't even move stadium. Splashing the cash. Who is Aberdeen's most expensive all-time signing? Paul Bernard, Little Ian Jess, Al Stavrum, Lewis Ferguson. Correct answer is A, Paul Bernard. Aberdeen in 1995 paid £1 million. In 1995, Aberdeen paid £1 million to Oldham for Paul Bernard. And I guarantee most football fans won't remember him. Great business, done well. And the final question of the quiz. Question number 50. We finally made it. Let's go to it. It's from Open Goal, a podcast I'm sure many of you follow and listen. Who was the last player to score in a Scottish Cup final that didn't involve Celtic or Rangers? Who was the last player to score in a Scottish Cup final that didn't involve Celtic or Rangers? Was it James Vincent, Anthony Stokes, Ross Draper, or Stephen McLean? Try to think back to when the last Scottish Cup final was that either Rangers or Celtic didn't feature in. I mean, take out the last few years because obviously Celtic have played in them. Was it James Vincent, Anthony Stokes, Ross Draper, or Stephen McLean? Who scored the last player to score in a cup final that didn't involve Celtic or Rangers? This is from Open Goal. The correct answer, the final answer of 50. Thank you very much for playing. The final answer is A. James Vincent. Scored for Inverness. The last player to score a goal in a cup final that didn't involve either Rangers and Celtic. A depressing question to end us on. Thank you to all podcasts, and if you haven't listened to any of them, make sure you go back. I'll shout them out again. So we had Open Goal, the Totally Scottish Football Show, Talking Boz, Clyde Super Scoreboard, Nutmeg Magazine, the 2.1 podcast, the Terrace podcast, Leading the Line, Lower League Ramblings, Pure Football. I also do one called Soccer FM if you want to check that out. We don't talk about football a lot because we mainly talk about the Lighthouse family, just because they're a great band. Thank you very much for taking part. We'll go to our final leaderboard in a sec, but before we do this, let's give away our last spot prize. So, I should say I've just been told now, we've practiced this twice, just been told now, there's no tiebreaker, so if we go to leaderboard as joint winners, we'll sort out prizes for them. We also, Richard Eady wants to slag himself off, saying his 9-year-old Rowan Eady is getting more answers than her dad correct. The last spot prize was for the extra large, beautiful photo. I mean, I think I've got Stockholm Syndrome because I love this strip now. It's not even a strip, that's how much I love it. Extra large. The question was, who's the next team in the sequence? Rangers, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Aberdeen. Rangers, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Aberdeen. The correct next team was Hibs. And the reason that was, it was the last losing finalists in the last 5 League Cup finals. So the last 5 League Cup finals, they are the losing teams. Rangers, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Aberdeen and Hibs. Well done to the spot prize winner, and that goes to James Evans. Well done, James. Get in touch, same as before. You know what to do. Just get in touch with people and they'll be, however you entered it, and they'll be sending that out after lockdown. Final thing, thank you for taking part. Let's go to the final leaderboard and let's see the winners. The top 3, remember, 3rd place, Scotland-Israel ticket, 2nd place, signed Scotland shirt, and top place gets signed Scotland shirt, tickets, and a luxury retro shirt. So well done. Our winner tonight is Ross Latimer. Ross Latimer, 37 out of 50. A good innings. Well done, mate. So that's, get in touch with us and we'll be sending it out to you. Well done to Barry Spence in 36. Ewan Taylor in 36. Austin Purdy also in 36. Stuart McKinley in 36. Waggle Salty Soup 36. Craig Johnson 35. Michael Butcher 35. Richard Gordon Boys 35. And Duncan Buchan in 34. That makes your top 10. Ian Maxwell is 77th, which he would also be my choice for play centre half of my team. Well done to 2 guys in my football team. Craig Paisley got 17 out of 50 and Kieran got 12. Not bad. And let's do it. So, congratulations to our winner, Ross Latimer. Thank you very much for taking part. There's plenty more football content in the Scottish FA channels this weekend. They're showing full reruns of the 2017 Scottish Cup semi-finals. Get that online. Also, I know it's a troublesome time just now. If you've got young kids, check out the Scottish FA website for activities to do with the kids at home. The development section, you can find out little things to keep the kids ticking over as we go through this difficult time. Thank you very much for playing along. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we get a chance to do this again soon if the lockdown continues. Just remember, Easter weekend, hope you have a good Easter. Most importantly, stay home, save lives, and thank you to anyone who has played along that also is a key worker, works in NHS. Your contribution is very much valued. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Take care. I've been Ray. Cheers, bye.